saw Tempest Remastered, and then I was like, yeah, Tempest, oh, that's so cool. Oh, it's online only.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I know. Like, okay, I wish I had opened this on the stream because I'm like, dude, what? Like, hello, Magic players. Welcome to the Wake the Dead podcast, your weekly Magic the Gathering podcast brought to you by MTG Mind Games. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for weekly Magic-related content, news, deck techs, and pack openings. I'm your host, Scott, and with me tonight is my co-host, Evan. Evan, what's up, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just being disappointed in this Tempest Remastered not being legitimate.
Right? All right. So, what is up with that? Why can't, like, how come we've returned to every other set in the world and not Dominaria? I mean, like,
They'll go back.
they
They'll
don't
go back
like
to it
Tempest?
eventually.
I
They're gonna
mean,
run out of stuff, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, guess where we're going?"
yeah, right. I mean, I think they're saving that one because, if they're okay with time travel with this whole Khans and Dragons thing, and they're able to just jump around and stuff like that, I'm down to get Urza's like origin story. Like, I don't
Yep.
even care. I don't care how godly or
They're
whatever
gonna go
the
back to all
planes.
that stuff eventually.
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, so I feel like the Planeswalkers will eventually run their course and people will get bored with them and they'll do the movie and everything, and then guess what? It's time to revisit Urza. Before all the Planeswalkers, guess who there was? Before the what is it
Yep.
called? What is it? It's not the reforming, it's the I don't know the word. It's got some specific like, trying to fix the whole planeswalkers were gods basically. So, you know, before that time period, we had Urza and we had the skyship or whatever, the Weatherlight and all that stuff. So, all right, um, let's talk about. Did you have anything that you want to talk about today, specifically pertaining to Magic?
Well, I do want to talk about the new format that I want to do because I'm really excited about building that. I can't wait to start putting that together.
All right, sure. Let us know what is this new format you're talking about?
So I really like Cube. I really like drafting. I also really like Tiny Leader and EDH.
Right.
So I want to put together a Tiny Leader draft format where we deal out random commanders to people, and that forces the colors you have to draft. You do a 4-pack draft. It's all singleton, but you're basically drafting Tiny Leader decks.
Nice, nice. I could imagine that would be pretty cheap to build too, because a lot of the more expensive, like 4 and 5 drop cards that see play in other formats, that tends to drive the price up of a cube. Planeswalkers, you don't have as many planeswalkers, so that way, what is it,
Yeah,
like 3, maybe 4 planeswalkers are
very
3
few
mana cost? So
planeswalkers. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's a lot cheaper to build than a regular cube, and I think it's a not only is it going to be fun for people who play Tiny Leader, but it's a great way to like get people into Tiny Leader who don't normally play that format.
right, yeah.
Like people like Josh Duma, who I mean, he loves the game, but he refuses to build Tiny Leader EDH. He's just building all these 60s over and over.
Yeah.
But this might be a way to actually get him to start doing it.
Well, I know Josh was saying, our buddy Josh Ruloff, he was saying that, you know, I initially had my queue built. I had sold it for financial reasons. I kept most of it, but I sold the very expensive stuff because at the time I was taking a break. And now I'm slowly rebuilding it again. And the thing is, like, when we had the cube built, we would all get together and we used to play 60s before EDH even existed. And it was 60 casual. Everyone was just playing the most insane versions of, broken cards, ban lists. We didn't care. It was Magic. You just played whatever you wanted. 4 demonic tutors. Like, I don't care. It was just insane. 4 sinkholes, 4 strip mines. Like, who cares? So, then I built my cube, and we were able to play singleton format. It was fair game based on what looked good for you that night and what you were, what you opened and what you had, and no one had to pay a dime. Like I had already fronted all the money. The cards were all mine, of course, but like everyone was just able to come sit around. So I think cube is great for that, and I agree with you that this this tiny leaders cube sounds amazing.
The other thing about it too is that like a lot of times people like I know some people don't want to draft because there's so much strategy involved in like what colors am I gonna do? Is this card worth taking over this card? But if
Right.
you're doing singleton and you're forced into a set of colors already, there's no decisions to make. You're like,
Exactly.
oh, what's the best red, white, or blue card in this pack? There it is. I'm taking it.
Yep, yep. There is a format that's similar to that where it's like a stipulation draft where everyone instead of like it's a tiny leaders, like instead of it being tiny leaders, it's just singleton cube, and everyone gets maybe it's the card that you can't draft any colors, or the first color that you get in your first pick you have to draft that for the rest of the time, or like stuff like that feels really fun. Like it's like Vanguard secondary cards that you draft, that no one knows. No one knows how you're going to draft, and you keep those things separate. So maybe you have to draft all the cards that have girls on them. It's just
That's
like,
pretty cool.
it keeps it fun, it keeps it interesting, like conspiracy, because cube can get boring. Your cube ends up
Yeah,
staying the
it's the
same.
same cards over and
So
over.
yeah, but yeah, I definitely want to try this. I definitely want to like feel the ropes for this one, because I've been actually collecting a lot of different really rare and obscure commanders. Like I said, I just got Ragnar in the off Puka Trade, which Puka Trade's great. Um, and I got a couple different off the wall commanders, weird little 3-drop commanders, and ones that I haven't really seen people play because I think maybe they're just dual color, or everyone wants to do these 3-color commanders out of
Yeah.
the brand new Fate Reforged, and to me that's boring because we've had 3-color commanders forever, and Magic's a lot older than that. You don't need to stick with just what's recent right now. I would prefer to play Ragnar over any other Bant commander just because Ragnar looks badass. He's
Yeah.
an old card and he regenerates a creature. Like, if that doesn't sound like the perfect Voltron type of commander, then I mean, obviously Geist of St. Traft is what everyone plays, but that's super, super expensive and super, uh, competitive. I just want to play this format for fun, and
Hmm.
that if that makes me, a little Timmy casual, trust me, I'm not. I want to play this game for fun. If I wanted to play the other formats and be, super competitive, I'd play modern. I can afford
Yeah.
modern. I can grit my teeth, and go get some dual lands and wastelands and force of wills and go play legacy. I don't want to do that because I don't have a need to, and I don't feel a drive to be competitive in that nature. Like, I joined this game, to have fun, and the variants. I love the variants. So I like Cube, and I think I'm definitely gonna have to put something like this together so we can all play it because this sounds amazing.
Yeah, this format is definitely for casual play. It's not obviously there's not going to be anything super competitive. Like I wouldn't even put Geist in the commander pack. Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah. I can imagine it would just end games way too quick. So
yeah, the super competitive tiny leaders and the ones that require like very specific deck builds. Like
yeah.
there's a red and white one where like it's got like heroic. So every time you target it with a spell,
Hmm.
it does all this. Like that's the odds of you getting enough spells to make that worth it are slim to none.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'd have to
So
bog
like
down your cube a lot for that.
yeah,
So
but we're gonna have to get like a very specific set of commanders
yeah,
to weed out all of the super competitive and everything like that. But once we get the commander set built, like we can because the other thing that I like about it is because it's so cheap to
yeah.
get the cards for the cube, like we can constantly add to it and make changes
Oh
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
If we find that like one card is just completely dominating the game, we just take it out because
Yep.
it probably only costs 50 cents anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not like we had to go out of our way to get something.
Yeah, usually the really, really dominating cards because I mean, this would be a 1v1 format though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so even though it's, dominating would be, I mean, we wouldn't even have some of the most dominating cards in there, like Stasis and, well, let me see, because Stasis Lock is, good luck with that one in a
nobody
1v1.
nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
what True Name Nemesis? We're not obviously gonna put that in there. It's like just like super broken cards like that are just if if people want to play that for their tiny leader decks for competitive, that's fine. But for the cube, I don't feel it has a place for it.
As a
So
rule of thumb, I feel like we should make it, if it's going to make Ruloff want to not play with us, it shouldn't be in there.
oh, that's perfect. Yeah, yeah. Seriously, like if it's gonna make Alex's eyes roll in the back of his head, then it doesn't. It
I don't
shouldn't
care
be
what
in there.
Alex's eyes do.
oh God. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So let's move forward. I recently went to a uh a PPTQ is what they call them. It's a preliminary pro tour qualifier in we went in Santa Clara. Channel Fireball hosted. It was sealed Dragons of Tarkir and Fate Reforged. Oh man, I just jumped on like a whim. We just had the birthday like weekend for Janine and
Yeah.
my fiance Janine. We just had a birthday weekend for her and her twin brother Phil. Shout out to Phil. Woo! Got a little tipsy. It was great. Um, but that night it was like, let's see, the PPTQ was Saturday. On Friday night, we went out to drink at Trissetti's downtown, and I had something like 3 or 4 whiskey sours, and we're just outside. It's windy as hell, and we're like, oh man, this is ridiculous. Like, like I'm feeling good right now, and then I get a text message from my buddy Navdeep, and he's like, so you down to go to the PPTQ tomorrow? And I'm like, I mean, I missed because that Friday was the release tournament, and I missed it
Yeah.
because obviously I'm not gonna, not go out for my fiance and her brother's birthday or my future
Yeah.
brother-in-law. No way. I'm gonna go and have fun at their birthday, and go and do whatever they want to do. So sadly, I missed the sealed, so I still feel like I wanted to do sealed. I don't care that it's a PPTQ. I don't have the aspirations of hitting the pro tour yet. I mean, I've been playing this game forever. Just because you go to the Pro Tour doesn't necessarily mean anything. Just means that you have the drive to get to the Pro Tour, to grind some events, to learn a specific format. The format, guess what? The formats change every 6 months. It's
Yeah.
like, um, so, uh, I mean, maybe on a bucket list, I'll eventually get there one day. But yeah, right now, uh, I'm all right.
Yeah.
So I go to play my sealed, and I go with Navdeep. I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Like whatever. So I turned to Janine and I'm like, "Can you take me home?" I'm like super buzzed, and I'm just like, "Can you take me home?" She's like, "Yeah, sure. I was planning on like leaving pretty soon anyway." 1 o'clock, like maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, I get home. I go to sleep. I wake up at 7:30. I roll out of bed, take a shower, jump in the car with Navdeep, and we head to Santa Clara for the PPTQ that starts at 10.
Oh man.
yeah, it was a rough day. I
Yeah,
think
that
I
sounds like fun.
I think I ran to McDonald's, got a couple of like breakfast sandwiches for me and him, and then I ran back and we were just like, all right, I got food in me, let's do this. Open my pool. Well, obviously, you open a pool for yourself, you register it, and then you pass it. Um, when you pass it, you continue to pass it however many times the judges say. We had to pass it twice. Unfortunately, the guy in front of me who passed it once, he opened like a Narset and like all this other awesome stuff, and I was like, please, please let this stay with me, please, like just so I can get like amazing value out of this. And of course, no, he passed it. We had to pass twice, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So my pool ended up being pretty crappy. No real notable rares. I got a Zergo Bell Striker, which I feel is the biggest slap in the face in this format. I mean, a 1 mana drop 2/2 with dash that's a common. you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that should be a common. That shouldn't be a rare. I feel like that would have been okay if the guy was 1 mana drop and he was 4/4. That would be awesome. That
This
I
doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I mean that would literally. I'm not even kidding. Like going back and saying what I just said. 1 mana drop 4/4. I think we're there on the power level. On the like if red decks want to play that, he doesn't have haste. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
play that guy for one. You literally have to wait a turn. We've got roast in the format. We've got utter ultimate price. You've got hero's downfall. You got all kinds of stuff. I think standard could actually handle a 1 mana 4/4. As weird as that is, because that's
Yeah.
super slow in this format.
Yeah.
Anyway, that aside, I didn't do very good in the PPTQ. Went 0-3 drop. I built a red black aggro deck. Didn't get there. I won a fair amount of games. Every match that I had, I won one of my games, and it was nail biting close. I just, they drop a dragon, good like GG. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. They would always obviously on like turn 6 they would drop a 3/3 or 4/4 dragon and like maybe bounce something or play a wall or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's this format. It feels so super fast and then super heavy. There's no really good mid-range stuff in order to put accurate pressure unless you're playing green white. And my green white stuff, I had like no creatures in green white. It was very sad. So I just most of my rares were in black and red, so I just decided to just go with my pool and whatever. I lost. It's all right. Got the cards, and we did a draft there. And in the draft, I opened a Sarkhan. So I
There you
felt
go.
kind of vindicated there. I was like, sweet. And then oh god, I was doing such crazy stuff. I was doing so in this draft format, you can do well. I feel like because we have 2 packs of dragons in the dragons draft, you have dragons, and then fate. And because everyone is in their specific colors from the dragons packs, when you open your fate pack at the end, where all the removal is and all of the very strong and swingy cards, if because I was in the 3 colors of Teamer with uh, with Sarkin, I felt like I could go into. I just had like pickings of everything. People were passing all kinds of crazy stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I can run that. I can run that. I can run that too. So
Yeah.
it was really cool. I ended up getting a Humble Defector and a Teamer Sabretooth, which if you've never played with that combo before, it's almost standard worthy. You play Teamer Sabretooth, or you play your Humble Defector, and then you drop down your Sabretooth, and then you tap your Humble Defector with the draw trigger to draw 2 cards on the stack, period. You bounce him with Teamer Sabretooth, giving your Sabretooth indestructible, and you just replay him. So you give him indestructible, and you get to bounce and draw 2. It's pretty broken. It's After that, it was just all my opponents that had to deal with that. It was really rough. My buddy Brian had to deal with that too. It was just like, this is stupid. So I had a good time though. It was fun. Unfortunately, the PPTQ itself, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we ended up heading out. Me, Brian, and Navdeep. We ended up heading out to eat in Dublin, and we went to Red Tractor Cafe. So that place is really good. But they did mess up Brian's order quite a bit. He was waiting for his food for a long time, and other families were getting their food way before him, and he had already ordered a long time ago.
It
So
pisses me
I
off
felt
so
so
much.
bad. I felt so bad for the guy because he wanted the food. Like he was the most hungry out of all of us because he had kind of skipped a little bit on breakfast. He had like a breakfast sandwich earlier in the day, like earlier in the morning from the Starbucks. So it was just like, dude. And he's taller than me, and I'm a tall guy. I'm almost 6'3", and he's like 6'5", 6'6". So he needs to eat. And he ordered chicken and waffles, and they didn't bring him chicken and waffles.
How do you mess up chicken? What?
Yeah, it was rough. I was like, dude, come on. Like, they brought me my food, they brought Navdeep his food, and then all of a sudden the number's just sitting there. And then, hey, there's a family getting their food, another family getting their food. And I was like, dude, I'll go up there, I'll say something. Because I'm used to standing up for people in that kind of situation. Like they are working. We paid them. They need to do what they're supposed to do. If they're not doing
Yeah.
what they're supposed to do, trust me, I worked at Roundtable. It's an easy gig. I expect to be yelled at if someone doesn't get their food after 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
like what? That is crazy. So it's just like, no, I'm not gonna go up there. And big old Brian, he's the most happy, humbly giant. Like he's the most gentle guy, and he goes up there and it's just, hey, so my food didn't come, and I was just like, man, I feel bad for the guy. Like, and even then, they asked him, okay, what kind of chicken? Because you get 3 pieces of chicken with it. I know this is a complete tangent, but you get 3 pieces of chicken with it, and he was saying that he told them, okay, I want 3 chicken breasts. It's like just okay, cool, 3 chicken breasts. The guy's been waiting. Give him the extra chicken. Give him
Yeah.
that chicken. They bring him a wing that looked like it was like roadkill. They brought him a chicken breast, and then they brought him a drumstick. So even after the
Why
fact
even
they messed it
ask?
up. Yeah, so it was just I felt bad for him, dude.
That's ridiculous.
R.I.P. That sucked. So anyway, let's move on. So you were telling me earlier that you had worked on your Brago deck.
Brago the Pauper King, who
What
is
did
no longer a Pauper King.
so so what did you do to that deck to change it up?
So originally, I'd built it for our little Pauper thing. So it was Brago and a bunch of comments. It was cool. It was like it wasn't that good, but it in Pauper format it worked really well. And then I was just kind of messing around, looking around on the internet, and I saw this Strionic resonator, which I know I have one of.
Sure.
And I was reading it, and I was like, wow, if I had some mana rocks out that were big enough to pay for the resonator, I could copy Brago's ability and go infinite in EDH, and I haven't done that yet, which is
uh,
ridiculous for me. So I turned Brago from the Pauper King to the Combo King,
nice.
and now I'm gonna have infinite life or creatures or mana or mana that I have to use during combat. But
Yeah.
you can always find ways to use that in blue and white.
Treasure trove, man.
Yeah,
I
there's,
mean,
I mean, treasure trove or what's the white instant
oh
that gives you a
God.
bunch of cat soldiers? Like,
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you were gonna go even more broken. I thought you were gonna go, what is it? Mastery of the Unseen? Oh man.
dude, there's so many options for it. But yeah, so
So
I
hold.
turned it into Brago the Pauper King or the Combo King.
Okay, do you have a Mastery of the Unseen in that deck?
I
You're typing because you got to see
don't
what it is.
remember. Yeah, I do. Like, I have to see. No,
Mastery.
because I only have the one that's in that tiny commander.
Okay, I have one for you for that deck. Master of the Unseen needs to go in that deck because when you bounce something, it comes back into play and it's a morph creature. You morph it. It morphs for free. So if your creatures are, how many creatures you running?
I don't know. I have to sit down and do a breakdown on it. Because I haven't gotten to play it yet.
Okay,
So,
okay.
like, I have to see how it plays before I.
Yeah, well, it runs predominantly like end of the battlefield trigger creatures, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you bring them off the top with Master of the Unseen, you make them all leave play, they come into play. I mean, obviously that's not them morphing, so that you get that free, just like let's say you have something that's 6 or 7 mana, like or a Sun Titan even. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so you don't want to have to pay the 6 mana, but you're attacking with Brago, you get the trigger to bounce him, he enters the battlefield as Sun Titan, and then you get your trigger to bring something back. So that's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's insane. And if in the off chance that you do have something that's a little lower mana cost and you need to gain some life, you can just pay the mana cost on one of those permanents and literally flip it over and just gain life for all your creatures. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think Mastery of the Scene has a place in that deck. That sounds pretty insane.
I have to put in some colored mana rocks. Right now, I've just been focusing on the colorless that's big enough, colorless that produces enough to pay for the resonator itself.
Uh huh.
But I gotta get I gotta put in some colored ones. Even yeah,
Are
I don't know.
you
I
talking
gotta
about?
say
Okay, so you're talking about like you have things that produce colorless mana, but
right
you're needing ones that produce colored mana now.
right now, yeah.
Okay.
Right now, all I have in there is stuff to produce colorless mana. But I mean, I just have to throw in like
Okay.
it's blue white. I mean,
I thought you were
there's
referring to
options.
border posts. Do you remember the border posts from Shards? Oh
No.
my god. So, well, actually, are they all called border posts? But there's a bunch of different border posts from Shards where you could tap one and put it into play for free, as long as you had like tapped one and returned a land, and it was an artifact that was three colorless mana and then two colored mana, and they would tap for two different colors, and they were from Shards
Yeah,
block.
that'll work.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can use one, like I think it's like Mist something in
Field
Border Post.
mist.
Field Mist, there you go. So I mean, because you were talking about colored mana rocks, so I was like, mana rocks that have colors, like, did it in their mana cost? I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. All right.
Mana rocks that produce colored mana,
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All
or
right.
just any kind of way to fix mana, really. Like, because I mean, I'm producing infinite regardless. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, all I have to do, whatever I have out is going to come back in. Now the field mist won't work because it comes into play tapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's the big key is I got to find stuff that comes into play untapped. Because I started doing that at first, I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this, I'll put this, I'll put this, and then I was like, oh no, I can only use those once.
So
Never mind.
you're looking to bounce your mana rocks, and then they
Yes,
come into play untapped. Okay.
that's where the
That's
infinite's
fine.
coming from.
Nice. Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, Brago the combo king. That's gonna be my new competitive EDH. I'm thinking
Yeah.
because I don't want to play it against you guys too much because then Alex will stop playing again.
I don't mind playing it. I have
I know
Kalia,
you
so I
don't mind,
mean,
but everybody else
yeah.
does.
I mean, everyone's got to lose sometime, you know.
Like
So
that's why I stopped playing like my why do I always forget the name of my brain freeze deck? Because literally the only people that liked watching it go off were you and Ruloff, and
yeah.
everybody else is just like, dude, did you win? Can you just tell me if you won?
Oh my
I just want
god.
to know if you won. Did you
Yeah.
just win the game? I'm like, I don't know, man. I haven't even time spiraled yet. Calm
Yeah.
down.
You could not win. You could just be like, play Time Spiral, get a new hand, play, over and over and over, get all your
I
mana
did
up and
that.
everything.
I did that to
Oh,
Chewy
I
the
just
first
said
time I
go.
showed him. I went off like 3 times and then couldn't get a brain freeze, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Go. I don't know what to say.
It's like, I just play all my creatures out of my hand. I take 2 or 3 turns, and I
I
don't get
literally
there.
just played 700 spells this turn, but couldn't get to my brain freeze.
Yeah.
So go.
Yep. Nice. I wanted to take a second to let everyone know that we're doing a giveaway on the YouTube channel. It's specifically the Narset Transcendent giveaway. All you have to do in order to be eligible for the giveaway is like and subscribe, comment, and share if at all possible. I mean, some people aren't on social media. I would prefer it if you share. If you share, I'm going to see it that much faster, and that's the better part for you. Like it's going to be better for your entry if you shared. So just saying. Um, it ups your chances to win if you share. Uh, but we'll announce the winner on a future episode of the Wake the Dead podcast when the YouTube channel reaches 100 subscribers. So at this moment of recording right now, I just want to get an up-to-date count. We are at 24 subscribers. I posted that video a day ago. We were at 9 subscribers. So we're going to get there. We're going to get there pretty quick. And I'm really confident in all you guys and all the listeners and everyone. Um, we're going to do this Narset giveaway, and it's going to go really smoothly. Anyone who likes and subscribes is going to get the Narset, or going to get a chance to win the Narset. It's a 1 in 100 chance. I mean, most YouTube channels, they're like 20,000 people watching, and oh, we're giving away a box that only has one relevant card. Well, guess what? The one
Yeah.
relevant card usually is like a Narset or an Ugin. Well, we're just bypassing all that box business. We're giving you the Narset, and it's 1 in 100 chance. That's really good. So, again, guys, just like and subscribe to the channel, and they'll appreciate it. We'll appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. So, let's move on. So, we had a card from the new set we wanted to talk about. I don't know if you want to go ahead and introduce that card.
We were going to talk about Mirror Mockery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mirror Mockery. I'm going to pull it back up. I think I closed the page. I was like, close all these tabs. So Mirror Mockery, it's a blue enchantment, which I'm already sold on it because it's blue.
Sure.
It costs 1 and a blue. It's enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, you may put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. Exile that token at end of combat.
Nice.
Now, people who don't play blue regularly might look at this and be like, well, I mean, the token's getting exiled at end of combat. Like,
Yeah.
why do I care about this? What is this going to do for me? What you got to realize is it opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
Like for enter the battlefield triggers. The one that I personally really like it as a defensive card. You they have a big creature. They're sitting over there with, let's just go back. You know what? Let's go old school. They're sitting over there with a Sarah Angel. You
Nice.
can't deal with this Sarah Angel because
Yeah.
you don't have any flyers out.
That's a perfect example.
You
Yes.
put
Yeah.
a mirror mockery on their Sarah Angel. Now, every time their Sarah Angel attacks you, you get a copy of the Sarah Angel. So they're not going to attack you with the Sarah Angel anymore because
Exactly.
it's going to die.
Yep. Yep.
I really like it as a defensive. Offensive, I mean, it's got some possibility with entering the battlefield triggers, but I really like it as a defensive play like that.
Nice. Yeah, I that was something I overlooked when I first read it because these kind of cards you tend to look at and they're just like, it's just another one of those cards that copies something. It's whatever, you know. I feel like that's how Splinter Twin was when people first saw it. You didn't think about putting it on a Kiki Jiki or a Restoration Angel or something like that. You thought about putting it on the creatures that were in Standard because at the time you were just going to make one copy of some other creature and that was it. uh, it exploded in Modern. Now it's like a $28 card. So, um, but Mirror Mockery, the spot specifically that I overlooked was that when the creature attacks, you may put a token onto the battlefield. You brought that to my attention earlier, and I think that that's a huge oversight to the reason why people might not like this card, or maybe it's a 20, it's like a 20-cent card or 30-cent card. So
Yeah,
um, yeah, I could see this. I mean, it's still probably going to stay around $2 at the most if it
yeah.
ever
It's
sees play in anything.
it's never going to be like super crazy or anything, but
Yeah, but in Tiny Leader, I mean, that's where I land my roots now. Tiny Leader is
yeah,
my format now, and in Tiny Leader, this thing is hot. I mean, you put
it's
this
crazy.
you put this on a Stoneforge Mystic and your Geist deck. I mean, we're talking about the competitive decks before. Those Geist decks, I think they want this. You put this on that Stoneforge Mystic, and you would just swing with her, and you get another token of her, and that enter the battlefield trigger happens. You get another sword, or you get another. It's intense. So, and even in normal EDH, you put this on any of the Titans. They attack, and then a copy comes into play, so you get double triggers. And
Hmm.
it's intense. And if it's like a Grave Titan, I mean,
It's yeah.
you get black blue Grave Titan, you're getting 4 zombies with this thing. That's insane.
There's a lot of a lot
Yeah,
of stuff you can do with
yeah.
this.
Green blue and just the Titans in general. I just love it with the Titans. I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane with the Titans. If you can pick these things up for $1, if you can pick, or I'm sorry, if you can pick them up for maybe two for $1, it's worth maybe picking up so that you can make sure you have your playset when they go to maybe like $2 later. I don't see the ceiling on them is obviously $2 unless maybe some pro breaks it with some card from Origins or something. Because
Yeah.
I feel like this set. All right, we need to talk about the value in this set. Dragons of Tarkir. Oh man, Wizards. I mean, I understand that they can't make every set can't be a home run, but this set is very, very underwhelming. Um,
Hmm.
I I mean, you look at the prices, you look at everything online, and it's so cheap. It is so cheap. Uh, I w- okay, so in our previous podcast, I talked about how the I mean the the payment distribution or the cost distribution of the cards needed to go somewhere else or it's spread out and be distributed evenly so that a set could be around 150 for the full set. I stand by that and I think that that's true. What I had said before was that this EV was $79 and what I meant by that was the mythics. It was specifically just the mythics. It wasn't like the rares and everything because obviously the rares will bump it up a lot, but they don't bump it up a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, the only good rare is the Thunderbreak region at $10. Everything else is like $3, $4. And even then, it drops off really quick. You start getting into dollar rares, you start getting into 70 cents, 20 cents, and they're cheaper than some of the commons. Um, you have Roast at like 95 cents right now. So it's just And that's just because roast is it's okay. I mean, obviously it's going to deal with a lot in the format, but I don't feel like roast should be $1, maybe a 50-cent card. But it's just because the set's new and no one has it. It's similar to the what is it? It's from Fate Reforged. It's one a colorless and a blue and it exiles a creature and they manifest.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're
It's
talking about.
it's just because those cards are a new thing and those they've never existed. Their effect isn't insane, but it's because people need them for standard. So when they start to rotate, they won't see much modern play. Like roast, maybe I guess maybe the modern EDH deck, or sorry, the modern red deck wins deck wants roast, but it won't go above $1. Um, it's not one of these uncommons like Stoke the Flames, what's $5 for from M15. So, um, unfortunately, this set, I mean, I don't have anything against Wizards, but I've told my friends don't even buy it. I mean, I mean that doesn't help anybody in the long run. Everyone wants to buy it. Everyone wants to play it. If you're going to play it and you're going to buy it, do it. But I would not actively go out and buy boxes.
See, doesn't this make you so sad though? Because we were literally just talking about how like we wish the game was still at the point where we were just playing to play, and
Yep.
now we're like, I can't bring myself to buy this set because
Exactly.
I'm not going to get my money out of it. I might as well just buy the singles. Like,
Exactly. And that's one of the problems, and that's one of the problems I feel because I feel that way as an adult. Kids are going to buy this set,
yeah,
but my adult side, I can't not think about money. Like,
if it's not coming out of
mm,
draft, I probably won't be buying any of this.
exactly.
Like I bought those 2 packs, like I told you,
Yeah.
and I opened them up and I was like completely underwhelmed. And now I'm like looking at the prices. I'm like, oh cool. So one of them, like Myth Realized, was worth just under $4. So that
Sure.
pack kind of paid for itself. And the other one is, I don't even know where my rare is on this list anywhere. Oh, it's down there at 50 cents.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. I don't like the money aspect of the game. Being a trader, you know, like I like to trade with the game and everything. I am always trading for money to pay for the game. I don't trade for money to pay the bills. I don't have some kind of, stockpile of, you know, I don't even know what a card name a card. Stoneforge Mystic. When Stoneforge Mystic was $6, I wasn't sitting on piles of Stoneforge Mystic when it went to 25. I'm
Yeah.
not speculating on the game as stocks like you would with stocks. I'm the casual player. I'm the casual trader. I like to provide a service to my local players because being a 30-year-old male that actually had a good or had unfortunately but has a good job um, that can pay for his own way. A lot of kids don't, and I would get cards and I'd trade and I'd do all this stuff. I'd ask people, hey, guess what? What do you want? Like, what are you looking for? Because I'm going to help you get that card for your deck. Because brings me joy finding a card for somebody so that, like, CJ has a card down at the shop because he wants to play a deck on Sunday and he doesn't always play a deck. But guess what? He's going to have a fun experience playing that deck because I helped him get that card and gave him some insight like, oh, that's a good card because of this, this, and this in the format, meta calling and stuff. So I like doing that. I don't like going and trying to rip people off. I don't like none of that stuff. So I mean, man, I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, but I'm just saying. So,
Yeah.
um, unfortunately, the EV on the boxes, as an adult, I can't bring myself to buy them. I know people want to see them opened on the channel, so I'm going to continue to, try and open product for people on the channel. A lot of it's going to get given away. Um, and stuff that's not, I'm going to try and give away the good cards. I'm not going to try and give away the crap. So, and the crap is unfortunately probably just going to get moved to, whoever might want it, So unfortunately, trading might not be that great for me for a little while because I don't have great stuff in my binder. But it is what it is, and I'm not going to stop doing what I do in the community, and I'm not going to stop doing what I want to do for players as far as helping them get the cards they need out there. But other than that, I feel like this set is a sleeper set. Obviously, people have said that before, but this set seriously is a sleeper set. What we were talking about before, I wanted to bring up one point. Dragon Whisperer in our other podcast, it was pre-ordering at $6, is now at $8. It is climbing. Um, and I I feel kind of drawn to Dragon Whisperer just because we had talked about it before. I want to, keep an eye on it. And it's true, it's at $8 now. And I have a buddy who's playing Mono Red Devotion. It's actually my buddy Brian that I had seen at the PPTQ. He's playing Mono Red Devotion with Stormbreath Dragon and Dragon Whisperer. So he's that deck is super aggressive, and he's getting tons and tons of mana to be able to pump out, just like poop out dragons. It's disgusting. So it's like, and use Stormbreath's activated ability, his monstrosity ability. There's tons of outlets in that deck for mana, and most red decks, that's the problem. You have a red deck and it's burn here, play a little creature, rush in, try and get in there. This thing is like mid game, or it's like middle of the road, grindy, just beefy creatures and lots of mana just pumping into abilities. So I feel like I feel it's going to be extremely aggressive deck for him in the future.
It is interesting that you kind of called that Dragon Whisperer
Only a
like
little bit. I mean, we
just a
called it
little
at
bit.
9. It's at 8 right now.
Yeah,
I could still see it climbing a little bit. I feel like a lot of the cards in the set are gonna raise about $1 or two, just because where they're at now is too low. It feels like World
yeah,
Wake. I mean, if you ever played during World Wake, it was Jace the Mind Sculptor or nothing. And even then, people didn't even know about Stoneforge Mystic at the time. Stoneforge Mystic was $4, $5, and all it needed was the perfect storm of a card to be printed. So there's sleepers in this set where, the perfect card just needs to be printed, and then you're like, wow, why was that card $1? Because no one
yeah.
knows that, no one knows that what's coming in Origins, and no one knows Wizards repeats itself a lot. A lot of these cards, they do specific things that can be broken if you give it the right tool. And once you've been playing the game for a long time, you know, oh, well, that's obviously going to get broken. That's going to be broken in this. That's going to be broken in that. So you pick up on it faster than most other people do. And like Shoreline Elemental, or what is it, Shore Crasher Elemental, for instance, people saying that when it got spoiled was the card that everyone needed in order to play mono blue in standard. Shore Crasher Elemental is 3 blue, creature elemental 3/3, and if I didn't say anything else, that's all I'd need to say in order for you to play mono blue in standard, because you needed the 3 blue mana cost in order to play mono blue devotion with
Mm.
Thassa, God of the Sea, and Master Waves. And Master Waves was $3. As soon as Shore Crasher Elemental got spoiled, you know, uh, Master Waves went to like 7.50 or $8 again. So it's just, you see that one card come out and you've missed the train. Cards explode and are now, $7, $8 higher than what they were a day ago.
Yeah,
So
that's all it's about, really. Like, it's just, I mean, every card is gonna have, well, not every card, but
yeah,
like the cards that have potential are going to see that potential at some point,
hmm
and I mean, you're gonna get your value out of it eventually.
right,
Sometimes you have to sit on it longer
yeah,
than other
yeah,
cards,
yeah,
and sometimes you dump them all because you don't see that value. Like,
right,
I mean, you just look at cards like I talked about earlier with Azusa. Like,
yeah,
when she came out, like, I mean, yeah, she was cool. Like, you get to play 2 additional lands each turn, but that wasn't like it wasn't game breaking in any way. And now you see, like, she spikes a little bit, and then you wait a little while, and she spikes a little bit more, and then all of a sudden she's worth $45, and you're like, oh, what? Nope, nope, she's 50, and
yeah,
wait a minute, why didn't I sit on all those ones that I had at
yeah.
$4.50?
You quickly notice that the train has left you at the station and you're
Yeah.
clawing to get back and you just can't. There's no
Yeah,
way.
dragons. I mean, the cards that are worth it, they'll all even out. Everything's going to go up in price, and the
Yeah,
the ones that are overrated, people are quickly going to figure out are overrated, and the price is going to drop,
yeah,
and then eventually somebody's going to build a deck that breaks it, and the price is going to go back up.
right,
Like,
right. So
Which is another good reason to pay attention to MTG stocks.
exactly. There you go. Nice plug. Now, not to say we're not sponsored by MTG Stocks.
No.
I like the site. It's whatever. It was a good talking point. To get, my opinion out there. My opinion's crap anyway. It's all right, guys. I understand. I just play this game just like all the rest of you. So it's just my opinion. It's nothing big. But that art on Dragon Whisperer though, holy crap.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I just clicked on the in Tumblr they had the full size image. It's wow, that thing looks insane. Um, but other than that, I mean, we don't have very much left to talk about. We talked about our giveaway. We talked about some stuff we've been doing. Um, Again, guys, like, share, and subscribe the MTG Mind Games YouTube channel. Uh, we have aspirations of getting on other podcast networks. Obviously, there's a couple that can be named, but for now, we're just, it's pretty casual. We just want to stick to the Mind Games YouTube just to try and get the ball rolling for everyone. I have a couple interviews that I'm going to be doing with local players and a couple shop owners, and I just wanted to, bring some spotlights to them. People I think need some recognition in the community. Um, and on top of that, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support that you've been doing for us lately. Everyone who's liked and subscribed, and we'll have more giveaways in the future. There's a lot that we have planned for this YouTube channel. It's starting out small, but it's my goal is to have a full content website. Maybe in like a year. So it's uh, again, I want to just say thank you to everyone for listening. Before we go, I want to do one thing. I have a Russian roulette here on 3 packs. I bought 3 packs at my local LGS today. I don't have a dice. Do you have a dice nearby, Evan?
I got a 20.
Do it. All right.
I got a 6, actually. There you go.
All right. Sounds good. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on these 3 different packs, and based on whatever you roll, we're gonna do a crack a pack, just like all these other channels do. So, and then we'll just do our draft picks based on what the best card in the pack is.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Go.
If I can keep it. There we go. Hold on, it's spinning. Why did it spin? 4.
Oh my God. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we have Kahns of Tarkir to open.
Oh, there we go.
So in this, I mean, what are we looking for? Let's see. That pack opened really easily. So we're gonna go through all the commons and everything, and we're just gonna go right to the, well, not right to the end. We're just gonna go all the way through. Okay. So first up, we have Sage Eye Harrier, 4 colorless and a white. Creature, bird, warrior. It is a flying 1/5, and it has morph for 3 colorless and a white. So it's 1 mana cost less than its actual cost.
Okay.
Is this crap? What do you think?
I think that's the last pick.
Right. All right. Next up.
Get forced to take it.
Yeah. It's.
If I'm being honest, I'd take the land over it.
Honestly, yeah. You don't even play this. Even if you're forced into white, unless you're in the warrior deck. Only if you're in the warrior deck, because this thing is a bird warrior. So you can play it still as a creature, as a 2/2, and then just late game the warrior deck doesn't have too much to do because everything's lower. So anyway, next up we've got Weave Fate, 3 colorless and a blue, instant, draw 2 cards. That's maybe like what? What do you think? It's like a 4th, nah, probably like 7th pick after all the what is it? All the uncommons have dried up.
Yeah, mid pick once that's one of those cards where I'll pass it up once, twice, and then if it comes back to me, I'll grab it. Like if it's there, I'll take it. I'm not like super excited about it, but I'll take it.
Sure. All right. So we have next up we have Debilitating Injury, 1 colorless, a black, enchantment aura. Enchant creature gets -2/-2.
I mean, obviously it's definitely good early game, but I don't know. I mean, depending on how the rest of the pack looks.
Yeah, I guess we should clarify what format are we drafting here. Are we drafting 3 cons, or are we drafting cons Fate? I would say in three cons is what we should probably be talking about here. I know everyone was just doing cons fate, but the thing is, in cons fate, you had way too much removal in the fate pack. You never even cared about this as removal, but in cons, you like this a lot in
Yeah,
removal.
that's true.
Everything is a 2/2 morph, so if
Yeah.
they're playing, their big fatty that they're gonna, it's all tap out format for cons. So you're turn 3, morph my guy, because I need to, on turn 4, get that guy up and, attack you for value. You're killing this thing on that, that next turn. So I like that card a lot for that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't first pick it, obviously. It's more of like once all the, uncommons have dried up, that's probably the first pick for me out of all of the commons.
I might take it above uncommons
If there's
if
nothing in your color or something like
yeah,
that.
if there's nothing in my color,
Right.
and like if I'm playing black red or something, like yeah, I could see taking an early pick on it.
Right. Okay. So next up we have Smoke Teller, one colorless and a green. It is a 2/2. It's a human shaman, and you can pay one and a blue to look at target face down creature.
Well, that would be useful with another card.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know what you're gonna kill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like it, but it's really situational. So that's a late pick for me because,
Yeah.
yeah, like, what are the odds? Like, you don't know if anybody's even going to be playing enough morph to make it worth it.
You know what's sad about this format with cons? There were so many good flyers in cons and so many other creatures that just did so many other powerful things that Smoke Teller never really saw light. You would only take it as a bear. Uh,
Yeah,
and you never really even use the bottom ability. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna look at it so you can direct your kill spell, obviously, but that forces you to be blue green. So
yeah,
this was specifically a soul tie card because then you had your black card, or you could run it in Teamer and then you had your burn. So it was really meh. You'd run maybe
yeah,
one if you were hurting on creatures, but other than that, it's just a bear. It's just a bear.
yeah.
All right, so next up we have War Behemoth, 5 colorless and a white. It is a creature beast, a 3/6, and it has morph for 1 less mana cost than what it is. So it's 4 colorless and a white as its mana cost for morph, or 5 and a white.
It's a 3/6.
Yeah,
I actually really like it, just
right?
because that toughness is so huge. Like, it's so hard to get through.
Yeah,
There's not a whole lot of stuff in the set that's going to kill that.
yeah. 5 mana, I feel, in draft, specifically draft in cons, white, you're doing stuff like white black and white green black, things like that. This is definitely a white green black card,
Yeah,
where you would block, you would declare it as a blocker, and then you'd morph it and gotcha. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, you'd kill their thing because their thing would usually be like a 4/3 or a 3/3, and they'd be like, why would you ever block that? It's like, but the morph definitely was the reason why you played this thing. You
yeah.
never really wanted to play it for 6. So our next up we have Scoured Barrens, which is one of the lands. It comes into play tapped and or enters the battlefield tapped. When Scoured Barrens enters the battlefield, you gain a life, and this one taps for white and black.
If it's in your colors, that's an early pick.
Yeah, yeah. In cons. Oh my god.
You gotta go with your fixers.
Yep.
Like, that life gain too is just so brutal in draft. Like, people, yeah, I've been saved so many times just by that one life I gained.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I'm guilty of drafting the five color fun stuff deck in cons
Yeah, you are.
over and over and over. I mean, I did it in cons. I did it in cons fate, and I just recently did it at the well, I mean, I guess I didn't. I still drafted 5 color when I was drafting at Channel Fireball, but I still ended up using 3 color. So, I mean, um, the 5 colorness in those sets with cons, oh man, it was so much
That's
fun. You'd get like 9 of these types of lands and maybe like a tri land, and at that
super
point you can
playable.
play anything. Like,
Yeah,
they start sending you, they're not in Jeskai, and they start sending you Jeskai rares. You're like, dude, I'm super happy with this. And then the next guy
yeah.
sends you Sultai rares. You're like, yep, running
Yeah,
them
I'm
all.
just about to
Like,
play everything.
yep. All right. So next up we've got Embodiment of Spring. It's single blue, creature elemental 0/3, 1 colorless, a green, tap, sack it, and you search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle.
Again, I mean, again, because it's two colors. Like if it's in your colors, mid late somewhere
Right,
there.
right.
Like it's
I
not like super powerful, but
it's
it's nice.
sad
It's
that
nice to get that fix.
right. It's sad that I see this thing going late a lot of the time. A lot of the time, this thing and the what was it? Let me go back a little bit. This thing and the smoke teller, even though they're creatures, people are just like, oh, I just don't want those.
Yeah,
You know, they see green blue, and they think that you have to just be running green blue. It's like, well, are you running Teamer? Are you running Sultai? Like, I mean, why aren't you taking these cards? So they're so underwhelming that you'd never want to draw them late, and if you are, then you're not winning ever.
yeah.
So all right, I think we're going to start getting some good cards here. We're still in the commons, but next up we have Act of Treason, two colorless
Oh,
and
there
a
you go.
red. Yeah, sorcery, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that
That's
creature, it gains haste.
that's an early draft for sure.
Yeah, if you're
I
in,
love that card.
yep, if you're in the red deck, Act of Treason,
That is
sweet.
you. You are there.
Yep. All right, next up we've got Efreet Weapon Master. It's three colorless and Jeskai colors, so it's red, white, blue.
Mm,
Creature Ifrit Monk, 4/3 first strike, and when it enters the battlefield or is turned face up, another target creature you control gains +3/+0.
yeah.
Um, Now it has Morph, two colorless, and Jeskai colors, red, white, and blue. So it's 5 on the Morph cost or 6 on the actual cost.
Straight beast mode,
Beast mode?
dude.
I mean,
I
is this like a third pick for you or?
That's yeah,
Okay.
easily. Like there was, I remember a draft specifically where I ended up like seeing four of those, and I was like, "Are you guys serious right now?
Right.
Do you realize what you just did to my deck? Like, even if it's not in your colors, like you have to at some point realize like I've passed this guy four of these at this
Oh
point.
yeah. Yeah.
Like something bad is going to happen to me.
Yeah, this thing is a common. Someone's gonna run 2 or 3 of these, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's gnarly.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got Siegecraft. It's three colorless and a white. Enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+4.
I like it. Mid pick.
Mid pick. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's your colors, but I've seen Siegecraft go. They'll draft. I think it's what is like a one drop. It's a one drop bird. That's a 1/1.
yeah.
And then they suit this thing up
Drop a
with
siegecraft on
Siegecraft.
it. Now he's ridiculous.
Oh,
That
you've
makes
got
sense.
a 3/5. Like, good luck killing that thing,
Yeah,
and you need an actual kill spell. Yeah, because this format, you were paying 6 mana for 5 damage or something stupid like that. It's crazy. Yeah, I like Siegecraft a lot. I only drafted Siegecraft. Maybe like one in your deck is fine. You don't want to have more than one.
you don't want to get stuck with a bunch of them.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Opulent Palace. It's a land, enters the battlefield tapped. You tap it, add a black, green, or blue to your mana pool. So it's the Sultai Tri-land. I
If
mean,
that fits your colors, and it's
yeah,
the same thing as the other mana fixing lands. If it's in your colors, you grab it,
yeah, yeah,
you put it in your deck, and you don't think about it.
yeah. It feels like a lot of this set is like if it's in your colors, then you take it.
That's really yeah. It really is about that.
But I feel like if you opened a a crappy rare and maybe your other uncommons are kind of whatever, I almost would first pick this if I know that I'm going to be going 4 or 5 color or whatever. This thing, these lands are hard to find in because people take them so highly. They fix specific they fix specific clans.
Yeah,
So if you know you're sitting down and you're like, okay, well, my first pack, I open an opulent palace and bulk rares and crap stuff that's just won't even help me build a
you
good deck.
first pick it for sure.
I first pick that for sure because I know further down the road I'm gonna get black green or I'm gonna get green blue, and this land is still just a dual land. So
Yeah,
sometimes that's just the way you gotta roll.
yeah.
All right, we have about 3 more cards left. We got next up Set Adrift, 5 colorless and a blue. It's a sorcery with Delve. You put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library.
Mm, it does have delve, which makes it a lot more playable.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know. I might go. I might if that's the way my deck is shaping up. like lots of spells and stuff. I might fourth or fifth that.
Okay. Yeah, if it's, I mean, looking at, okay, so looking at the rest of the pack before the end two card or the last two cards, Set Adrift as opposed to like Opulent Palace, and looking at all the picks so far, I would say Set Adrift and Opulent Palace are, or maybe even Active Treason are the cards that are left. So if the
Yeah,
last two cards have been taken and we get this pack, after like third pick, we're taking one of those probably, right?
yeah,
Active Treason, Opulent Palace, or Set Adrift based on what we've already picked.
for sure. Yeah,
All right. So we're gonna get into these last two cards. These last two cards I feel are first pickable. um, Obviously because one of them is the rare, but this last uncommon, I've first picked this thing over all kinds of rares, and that's just because sometimes I just want to draft, and sometimes I'm sitting next to a younger player or someone that I know is going to really appreciate the rare that I pass them, even though for
hmm
me the rare is just whatever, and I already have like six of them. So um, Bear's Companion. It's two colorless, a green, blue, and a red. Creature, human, warrior. It is a 2/2. Okay? When Bear's Companion enters the battlefield, put a 4/4 green bear creature token onto the battlefield.
yeah,
I love this card.
yeah, absolutely. You're fi- oh, there's not a single card you could look at and say is 5 mana worth it for a 4/4 and a 2/2.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, why would I not want two bodies
Yeah,
for 5 mana? One can stay back as a chump blocker, one goes in the red zone, and it's a freaking bear. I mean,
yeah.
I love
If
bears.
if you're looking at your pack and the rare is not something that you want to play, I see nothing wrong with first picking this.
Yeah, this thing is definitely the second to first pick. All right, so here we go. Our rare. You
What do
ready
we
for
get?
it? We actually opened a fetch land.
No.
Our fetch land. We opened a mountain too, but we opened a Bloodstained Mire.
There we go.
Land, tap, pay a life, sacrifice Bloodstained Mire, search your library for a swamp or mountain card, and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle.
Obviously, that's your first pick.
So yeah, I mean, and see, this goes back a little bit to what we were saying before.
You're picking it for
Money.
value.
I'm picking it for money. Yes, the adult in me is like, dude, I paid $12 for this draft because that's what we pay at our
That's
local
almost
shop,
getting your money back.
and I just got a
You
nine
have to do
dollar,
it.
$9 fetch land.
You have to do it.
I got to, I can't not. So yeah, out of all,
Even
it's
then, I mean, if you end up playing black red, it's not bad.
that's true. That's
It
true.
works.
You
It's
know,
playable.
oh man, I have a
It's
small
worth money because it's playable.
I have a small story for you. So as greedy as I am, okay, I'm a very greedy drafter. Uh, Obviously, you know this by I admitted that I play five color fun stuff
Yeah.
in draft, right? I've taken like there'd be a pack full of creatures, big crazy Crotox and insane flyers and stuff like that, and I just take the land. I'm taking
Yeah.
the land, and I'm not taking the basic land. I'm taking the dual land that that it can tap and gain me life, and I'm taking like nine of them because I know that everyone's gonna build their decks with this pack unless it's something insane. Like the bear is one of those things that's insane. And it's like if I can draft the bear and then I can get the flyer that bounces a creature, I'm gonna bounce my guy back and replay it, get a second bear. Super value. So, um, anyway, getting back to it, there was a time when I drafted a deck where I think it had eight of the dual color dual land and one tri land, and then I drafted a polluted delta. I ran one of each color land, and then I had to run a couple other, fixing and things like that because my land, you're only going to run 2317 or whatever the number is. Uh, I ran 18 land just to make sure I hit my land drops, and I only ran one island and one swamp because those were my splash colors. The rest of my colors were on color, and I was good. So unfortunately, I think it was like what turn two, I played an island. Turn three, I drew the swamp. Turn four, I played the polluted delta, cracked it, went to look for a land. I had
Oh
the
God.
swamp in my hand and the island in play. I failed to find. Like, oh man. I just
Nice.
I laughed at myself so hard. I was just like, I can't believe I just did this. I had to show my opponent. I was like, dude, I can't believe I just did this. I was like, failed to find shuffle. Like,
Fantastic.
it's like, are you telling me you just sinkhole yourself? Like, yes, I just
Literally,
sinkhole myself.
literally just did that.
Yeah, so so it's all fun. I mean, I love the draft and I love cube formats. I love the way the game was, I feel, was meant to be played. Um, and this whole constructed business is, it's good and it's fun, it's creative, and I like it when it remains to be creative. But you know what, man? We have two other packs here. Do you want to just go ahead and do these two other packs? I mean, is it getting too late for you, or?
No, I'm fine. I mean, we can do them. Let's try to get through them a little quicker, though.
All right, sure. I'm not going to do the commons then. I'm just going to do the uncommons and the rare. The commons are commons.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, you know what? With dragons, I think I'll do the whole pack, and we can do the analysis over the whole pack. But this one pack, I went to a shop, not my normal LGS. I went to a shop that just sells. They're a family-owned, like mom and pop shop, and they sell packs at sadly $4.50 a pack. Um, but it's the only place in town you can still find Return to Ravnica.
Was
So
that,
we are hoping for,
did you go to Bonanza?
yeah, we're
Nice.
hoping for either a, a foil or a mythic, or
I love that store so
some
much.
kind of the, even like the, what is it, the Shocklands. So
I
let's
love
see.
that store so
I
much.
know they're so nice, dude. Let's see what we get. All right, first uncommon. We got Slum Reaper. 3 colorless and a black. Creature horror 4/2. When Slum Reaper enters the battlefield, each player sacks a creature. So it's like 1 mana more than, Risen, or what is it? Not Risen Executioner. Merciless Executioner and, ugh, like Fleshbag Marauder. No, is it Fleshbag Marauder? I think it
Yeah,
might be. Yeah. So it's similar to that, and it's a little more power and toughness. Eh, it's
it's
okay.
okay.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have Rakdos Charm. Now, this card I like. Black red instant. Choose one. Exile all cards from target player's graveyard, or destroy target artifact, or enchanted creature. I'm sorry. Or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller.
Oh,
Yeah,
that last one.
yeah,
Ooh, that could be gnarly.
yeah. I really like that last one because they play, like. Here's the thing. Everyone's worried about Kiki Jiki and all this different stuff in like Splinter Twin in Modern, and people don't realize you can just sideboard Rakdos Charm in like a Grixis build or something. I mean, obviously it's like, why are you playing Grixis? It's like, well, you're playing Grixis value. Like, no, that's not going to stand up to most decks in the format. But Rakdos Charm as a sideboard card in the mono red decks in EDH, or I'm sorry, I keep saying EDH in Modern, because they'll play the red white fetch land, and they play the red black fetch land so that they can board into things like Thoughtseize and board into Path, and they stay center vein on the red, um, and you can still play things like what is it, um, Blood Crypt and Sacred Foundry in the mono red deck in Modern. So one of the cards that they can sideboard specifically is Rakdos Charm for the Splinter Twin matchup, because they go, "Hey, I'm gonna Splinter Twin. Do I got it?" And I was like, "I don't know. How many tokens do you make? Like how many copies are you gonna make?" It was like 50 billion. Okay, finite number, cool. So Rakdos Charm you
Yep,
for 50 billion? Like,
yep,
so people forget that you can do that. So I mean, sometimes they even tap out to do it on turn 4. So because they see a red deck, they don't think you got something like that. There's
yeah.
nothing in red. Oh, what are you gonna do? Lightning bolt me? Like, well, guess what? Rakdos Charm, gotcha. So,
Suck it.
yeah, exactly. All right. Anyway, moving on. We got Tablet of the Guilds. It's 2 colorless. An artifact, as Tablet of the Guilds enters the battlefield, choose 2 colors. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's at least one of the chosen colors, you gain 1 life for each of the chosen colors it is, which is really weird wording.
Very weird.
Yeah,
It's at least one of the chosen colors. You gain 1 life for each. So the most you could gain is 2?
2 per spell, yeah. If you're in Is It Guild, for instance, you say red
I,
blue and you gain 2 life whenever you play an Is
I
It card.
don't think I picked that anywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe late pick. I'm not super impressed with it.
I mean, it feels like a tiny leader card, maybe.
Yeah,
Like it could be okay in tiny leader.
that could be pretty cool in Tiny Leader.
If you're playing a dual color tiny leader and every spell, and you went ahead and made sure every single
Everything was
spell
two
is
two
two
colors.
color.
Yeah,
So this thing reads, pay that for 2, choose the colors of your deck,
gain
and
2 life every
every
time you play a
spell
spell.
is 2 life. Like a reverse shock. Like that seems pretty good. And if you're focused on something like blue white where you want to gain life for upside, or I don't know, because there's all kinds of cards that give you some kind of upside, or creatures grow when you gain life, or
Yeah.
if you're above this life total, then you win the game. Well, that's EDH. What is it? Sarah Ascendant is that card where it's like a 1 drop, 1/1, has lifelink, and if you have 30 or more life, it's a 5/5 flyer.
Yeah.
Like it's that card's like $18 now, dude. That card used to be $2. EDH did terrible, terrible things to that card. All right, so we're gonna get to our rare in a second. We
Big.
actually have a foil.
Uh
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
oh. Snap.
Our foil is Dead Reveler. Wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah. So it's 2 colorless and a black. It is a common creature zombie. Unleash. It's a 2/3. So foil. Whatever.
All right.
Our our rare our rare is just as disappointing. Yeah, it's a Mercurial Chemister. It's 3 colorless, a blue and a red. Creature, human, wizard. It's a 2/3. It's not super disappointing. I mean, I don't know the last time, or I guess I should say, I don't know when the next time is that I'm going to open a Mercurial Chemister, so I got a new Mercurial Chemister.
Woo.
Yeah, it's a
Where's
blue
our next
tap.
giveaway?
That would be cruel and unusual. No one would want that. Oh my god.
Just throw it in with the Narset.
Seriously. It's like, you get this too. Uh, so it's blue, tap, draw 2 cards, or red, tap, discard a card. Mercurial Chemister deals damage to target creature equal to the discarded card's converted mana cost. So EDH, yeah, it's cool in EDH. But,
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow. Oh no, it only does it to a creature. Yeah, unfortunately. What?
Target creature. Okay. Yeah.
What creatures are out there? I'm always trying to break cards. What creature is out there when it gets dealt damage, it deals that much damage back to the controller? I mean, no one really plays those creatures anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Not
it's too
playable.
much to think about. All right. So Return to Ravnica, you let me down.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got a Dragons of Tarkir booster pack. All right. Now this one we will go through all the cards because all the cards. You will draft all of these cards. So, first up, and let's think about this in terms of Dragons Fate, the current draft format, and that way we'll be able to get a good read on, what would we pick, because this technically would be our first pack.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got Grave Purge. It's a reprint. It's 2 colorless and a black. Instant. Put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your library. Draw a card.
Any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your library.
Yeah, and you draw a card. So it's an instant, so you can play it like at the end of their turn.
I do like that it's an instant. I like that it's black draw. That's always nice.
Right.
I actually really like a lot about this card.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, depending on what I'm seeing, I could see that going.
Do you see it actually being played in your deck? It's not so much a pick, I think, because these are the type of cards that they go around the table a
It
lot.
has to. I mean, it has to fit a specific. Like I would play it if that's how my deck was going.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, you're playing the exploit
Wow.
deck, right?
Yeah.
So the exploit deck, you're sacrificing your own creatures a lot, so you actually have some food for this card to be able to put back on
I
top,
don't. I don't know that.
right?
I don't know that I play this in
Okay.
draft.
Okay. Right. Yeah, because in draft it's gonna be quick. You want to
Yeah.
win, so uh, maybe as a one of if you have
Maybe.
to. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we've got Hardened Berserker, 2 colorless and a red. It's a human berserker creature. It's a 3/2. So I already like that right there. It's a three
Yeah.
mana 3/2, and it's very splashable because it's single red. But it has an ability, and I think that this ability is really broken. Whenever Hardened Berserker attacks, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 colorless mana less to cast.
Ridiculous.
Broken, right?
Super crazy.
Yeah, I had 4 of these at my draft when I drafted the
Dang.
Sarkin. So I would, yeah, it was dumb. I was playing that and then attacking in, and
Oh, yeah, because you don't
oh
even.
my
It's not even
god,
like during combat. It's
no,
just
it carries
the
over.
next spell you cast. Oh
Yep,
my gosh.
yep,
That's broken.
yep. And
That's crazy.
it's just, yeah, it was nice. It was really nice.
Costs how much? So that's going in the tiny liter cube.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. All right, next up we've got Monastery Loremaster. It's 3 colorless and a blue. Jin Wizard. It's a 3/2, and it has Megamorph. So, are you familiar with Megamorph?
Yeah.
It's basically Morph with a
Yeah.
1/1 counter.
Yeah.
So its Megamorph cost though is 5 colorless and a blue. So it's actually 2 colorless more than its original cost. And then its ability is whenever Monastery Loremaster is turned face up, return target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's kind of a gravedigger for sorceries and instants and planeswalkers.
Planeswalkers,
Yeah.
artifacts.
Okay.
I mean, it's playable.
Yeah. There's the dragon. I'm trying to think what would you most likely use this for. Obviously, there's because it's in blue, so you're going to use this for the Jin summon spell where you put a 2/2 Jin into the battlefield. It's like a flyer, and then
Yeah.
it has rebound, and then you can bring it back to your hand and replay it with this thing, so you get more Jin. So I mean, it's definitely a playable. I could see it being played as your top end in a blue Jin Flyers deck. Unfortunately, the weird part is that it doesn't fly. Like it should fly for for this cost. Maybe costing 4 and being a 2/2 rather than a 3/2. Because a 2/2 flyer for 4 is good on its own. So
Hey, if you happen to see a mirror mockery,
that's
boom,
true.
mirror mockery, kill their creature when it attacks. Get your mirror mockery back. Put it on something else.
Well, this is actually only when it's turned face up though. So
Yeah. No, I'm saying you can use it to get your mirror mockery back after you use it to kill their
oh
creature.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you open Mirror Mockery, then yeah, and their creature dies and
It's
trades or whatever. Yeah,
it's playable.
sure, sure. Okay, next up we've got Conifer Strider, 3 colorless and a green. Creature Elemental, it's a 5/1 hexproof. That's it.
I mean, how can you hate on a 5/1 hexproof?
Right?
Like
Right.
you have to block to kill it.
Yeah,
Obviously, you only have to do one to it, but
yeah,
like if you don't have a 1/1 sitting there, you're giving something up to kill it,
yep,
or
yep,
you're taking a quarter of your life off one attack.
yep. Nice. So next up we've got Herald of Dromoka. It's 1 colorless and a white. Creature Human Warrior. It's a 2/2 Vigilance that says other warrior creatures you control have vigilance.
Ridiculously playable.
Right. Yeah.
Like ridiculously. Isn't this what we talked about last
Yeah.
time? When
Yeah.
we like how ridiculously playable white is in this set.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I really
It's
wished I would have.
ridiculous.
I really wish I would have opened something like this in my sealed pool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so underwhelming in
It
sealed.
just makes your deck.
Yeah. Yeah. Warriors. The just mono white warriors seems like it can be viable now.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got Segmented Crotic. It's a 5 colorless green creature insect 6/5 with Megamorph. And the Megamorph is only 1 colorless more, so it's 6 colorless and a green 7.
So
6 or
it's
7, basically.
seven. It's 7 for a 6. 7 for a 7/6 or 6 for a 6/5.
Yeah,
So it's a worm from Wrath Cycle.
exactly. It
And
is exactly that.
in draft when you're gonna see yourself get to 7 mana, like nobody wants to see a 7/6 on the board.
No,
Nobody wants to see
you
that.
know what's sad is okay. You have a good point. I want to see worms again. I want to see
Hey,
WURMs. Like, this thing is an insect. It literally is a worm on the picture. That
Yeah.
makes me sad that they didn't just. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not okay. I'm looking at the picture again. It's not specifically a worm. It's a worm with a bunch of, it's a centipede or a millipede or whatever. It's got tusks in the front, and it's got little legs all around it, like it's, crittering out of the ground. But it's coming out of the ground like a worm would used to back in the
It
day.
should have just been a
It should have
worm.
just been a worm. Like, we don't need this weird insect creature types. I mean, there's not going to be insect tribal that's playing this thing. I would much rather have seen a worm and been like, all right, yeah, I'm going to build my worm deck now.
Yep.
All right, so next up we've got Tail Slash, 2 colorless and a red. Instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control.
So fights without having to fight.
Exactly. This thing is boss. This
Yeah,
thing is
especially
like
with that
almost
5/1.
first pickable.
Like,
Right, it's almost first pickable. Like,
yeah, that's gnarly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I use this thing all day when I was doing my like drafts and things like that. This is the common removal in dragons that you're gonna see. This and actually the next card because I can see the next card, but this card specifically is the thing that you play it and they're like, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen. We're
This,
supposed to
this
trade.
this
Like,
is supposed to play differently.
yeah, like I would put it. I would be like, tail slash your guy, and like I would do the motion of like tap my guy and tap his guy, and they would think I'm fighting or something, and they were like, okay, so you lose your guy. I'm like, no,
No.
I do
Yeah.
my power, and then I'm gonna attack you because the road's clear now, and you take like 6. Like,
Yeah.
ugh, it was just, it was ruthless. All right, next up we've got defeat. 1 colorless and a black. It's a sorcery. Destroy target creature with power 2 or less.
Power 2 or less. Uh, I don't like that it's a sorcery,
I don't
but
like that it's sorcery either. Yeah.
it does get rid of manifested creatures, which is nice.
Yes. Yes. Gets
So
rid of.
I mean, it's definitely draftable, definitely playable.
Mhm. I feel like in the draft format that we're gonna be in with that, because you have manifest and you have morph, even though it's megamorph, it's still morph.
Yeah.
You have dragons underneath those morph things, and they're not going to come out until later because they're not going to have the mana between turns 4 and
Yeah.
5. They're going to have to pay them, pay 6 or, well, I think some of them might be 5 on the manifest or I mean, on the megamorph. Anyway, but the defeat is going to be able to get rid of them in the early game really easily, and I mean, it's sorcery. It is what it is. But I feel like there's also walls in this set that you want to get rid of that really slow down the board and allow them to be able to play to play their dragons later because the walls chump, and then here's the dragon. So this defeat will either let you get rid of the wall or the dragon, and I like it for that.
Can I just point out how ridiculous it is that Magic has made it this long without having a card called Defeat?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
right.
how? How is that possible?
Anyway, all right, so let's move on. Reduce in stature. It's 2 colorless and a blue. It's a enchantment aura. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 0-2.
Hmm. It's just, oh, that's a nice dragon. Yeah, it's not a dragon anymore.
Oh wait, no, it's still a dragon.
Well, it's still a dragon, but it's a 0/2, and I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Just gnarly.
You really got to keep in mind when you're playing with this card or against it. It's extremely easy to forget that a creature's base power changing to 0-2. Um, I mean, obviously, everyone knows. Okay, well, 1/1 counters is going to add to it anyway. That's fine. But I was playing against somebody. I had actually made their guy 0-2, and he put it underneath his card, and I just saw reduce in stature at the top. I didn't think so. My mind, combat math wise, I was still thinking that that was his 4/4 dragon, and I was like, man, I can't attack in. I can't attack in. He's got a 4/4 dragon. It's like there's nothing I could do, like blah blah blah. Like I almost lost that game because I didn't realize until almost the last turn that I was just like, why haven't I been attacking this whole time? Like
I mean,
he
the
had a
entire time he was
zero
just
two.
laughing inside.
Yeah, he's just like, why is this guy attacking? I'm not saying
What is
nothing.
he
So
doing?
yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So don't make that mistake, guys. I made that mistake and it was really bad.
Super, super playable card though.
Yeah, it's very playable. It's definitely just removal. I mean, who cares
Yeah,
if they have a 0/2? Your 2/2 will probably kill their 0/2,
yeah.
and there's 2/2s like all over the format. All right, so next up we have Dance of the Skywise. It's one colorless and a blue, instant until end of turn. Target creature you control becomes a blue dragon illusion with base power and toughness 4/4, loses all abilities and gains flying. They
For
had to do
two,
it in that order. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
it's just funny, but yeah,
for 2 mana, that's super awesome.
becomes a 4/4 flying dragon. Yeah,
Super awesome. You can trick people. They're swinging in with their dragon. No, you don't have any flying. No, well, guess what? Here
right,
you go.
right. Yep.
Now
Yeah.
we're trading my dumb creature for your dragon. So go
Yes.
away.
So in most cases, you have to look at this as a glass half full and half empty type scenario. Most people won't see this as a kill spell because it's one half of a kill spell, meaning um, like you have a 2/2 and they have their 3/3 dragon that's just just hitting you in the face over and over and over, and they're not pumping it at all, but it's just hitting you in the face and it's annoying and you need to get rid of it. Well, yes, you'd obviously want a kill spell right there, but this is the spell that's going to get
Effectively,
you
yeah.
the kill. It's going to give you that oh, well, you declare attackers, well, I'm going to play this on my guy. Now I have a blocker. I'm going to block and your guy's dead. I mean, yes, they can give him +1/+0 in first strike if they just happen to be in red, but most cases you'll be able to get them. And then this card also works offensively. So unlike a kill spell, you can use this to get that extra 4 damage if you just
Hmm.
have a 1/1, or maybe you just have a 0/2 or something, whatever. So this is really nice. I like this. And based on layers and timing, if reduce in stature is on your creature, you play this and your creature becomes a 4/4 until end of turn. So this is a replacement effect that will take
Yeah.
over reduce of stature. So that's something that, if you're not used to playing on a more complex level and you're just new to the game, you're not going to know that, and you're gonna be like, well, no, my guy's 0/2. Well, he's a 4/4. Well, no, he's a 0/2. It's like you just need to play the game more and kind of understand when layers and when things happen and timing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So, all right. Uh, Next up, we have Explosive Vegetation. 3 colorless and a green. Sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then
Just
shuffle your
classic.
library. Yeah, I
Just
love this
classic. I've
card.
always loved explosive vegetation.
Yeah, I'm so happy they reprinted it. And the picture, the art is amazing on
Is
it.
yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah. Um, when are you taking this? You taking it like second pick, third pick? Probably like second pick, right? If you don't
I
have something more crazy to take.
Yeah, if there's nothing crazy sitting in the pack, you obviously if you're playing green, or I mean you can even splash it. It does have that one green,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like if you're playing any kind of green at all, you obviously take it second or third, just
Yes.
because it gives you so much advantage.
Yeah, so in the draft that I was playing in, that was Dragons Fate. Uh yeah, I had pulled Sarkin like right away, so I knew I was in Sarkin, so I was just like, people were passing explosive vegetation so much because they were thinking, oh, well, I need to play, the control black blue list, or I need to play, there's all these different types of dual color because you're technically just going to stick into the dual color allied dual color combinations. So
Hmm.
you got green white, like black red, all this stuff. So because it lends to that, you got mana fixing for that and everything. There's not the dual lands in all this. I mean, you will get some of them in the fate packs, but it's not enough. And you don't get it until last pack, so you don't know what you're going to be in. And people were passing explosive vegetation because they didn't think they were going to be in green. And I would get this card sometimes like sixth pick, seventh pick. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, like, do you realize that you
That's
passed me green
crazy.
creatures and now you're passing me the mana I need to play them?"
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, it was intense.
Because that puts you like you play it turn 4, you get your 2 lands. Turn 5, you just dropped your seventh land,
Yep.
and now
Turn
you're
5,
like,
you
oh,
drop your
here,
dragon.
turn 5. Here's Dragon Lord of Tarka.
Yep. Exactly.
You're taking 8 next turn. There's
Exactly.
nothing you can do.
Exactly. It's insane. All right, so yeah, explosive vegetation I would say is like a second, third pick.
Yeah.
just based on if there's no other uncommons or rares in the pack that are in your colors or are on the power level of like that really efficient or like a 4/4 for 4
Yeah.
or or a 4/3 for 4 mana or something like that. If there's nothing like that in your pack, then you take the explosive vegetation because you're going to get rewarded for it later in
Hmm.
your further on down the packs when you end up opening that awesome stuff that everyone wants to take but no one has the mana fixing for
Yep.
it. So all right, next up we have Silumgar Monument, 3 colorless, an artifact. You tap it for a blue or a black mana, and it also has the ability where you can pay for a blue and a black, and Silumgar Monument becomes a 4/4 blue and black dragon artifact creature with flying until end of turn.
How can you not like that card?
I love these cards. All
It's
these,
awesome.
yeah, these mana rocks. A lot of people say that they don't like that they made them very linear because they're all just the 2 color allied clans.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, and they made them all even. In Return to Ravnica, we had what was it? They weren't they weren't signets, obviously. They weren't key runes. They weren't the key runes because those drew you cards. Oh man, the name of it specifically is escaping me right now. But if they were just different types of creatures. So like blue black had a 3/2 unblockable. Um, white black had a 1/4 lifelink. You just had like different shapes and creatures and things like that that felt more organic with those dual colors. Um, and I like that they made them all even because if you look at any of the other Dragon Lords monuments, all of the monuments are all 4/4 flyers, and I feel like it's just more fair for everyone. So when you get these in draft, it's less. Uh, it's the same impact that you're going to have across all games. And when you played Return to Ravnica, you were getting, Black Blue had that unblockable thing. Like, how am I supposed to stop that? You know what I mean? So this way, it's just a lot more fair. Everyone gets a 4/4. It's like Oprah. You get a 4/4. You get a
Yeah.
4/4. So I like it for that. Um, oh man, I don't think anyone's gonna believe this.
What?
So we're on to our last card in the pack, and
Oh, what
we
we
have
get?
we have more than just a last card. So I'm gonna start. We have 4 cards at the end of our pack.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. So first off, we've got a plains,
Okay.
right? Next off, we've got a dragon token. I think these dragon tokens are pretty sweet. They're the 4/4 flying dragons that the Dragon Whisperer spits out.
Yeah.
So then we have a foil. Our foil is the new art on that Evolving Wilds. So we have a very nice, shiny, beautiful Evolving Wilds. Like, I'm not normally excited about Evolving Wilds, but I love this picture. And as soon as this set was spoiled and they told us we were only getting Evolving Wilds, I had to look at the picture and I was like,
That's gotta
yeah,
look super cool in foil.
the lava and the steam are super reflective. It looks like it's alive. It's amazing. So, very happy to have that. Um, guess what our rare is? Just guess.
Did you hit another Narset or something?
Yeah, I
Did you
hit I
really?
hit another Narset.
You son of a bitch.
I know. Like, okay, I wish I had opened this on the stream because I'm like, dude, what? Like, I opened
Dude,
a Bloodstained Mire and a Narset. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'll show pictures of all 3 Narsets.
that's
Like,
crazy.
like I'm on a Narset train right now. I am picking up Narsets so fast
That's
as just
crazy,
opening
man.
them. Oh my god. So we opened a Narset, and for the listeners, I will read what Narset specifically does. Again, I want to tell everyone we're doing a Narset giveaway. And yeah, I have a Narset and an emblem that I got on pre-release, and that one specifically I'm giving away. Um, I opened a Narset in my box, and then I opened a Narset today, right now. So yeah, we're sitting on 3 Narsets. So first off, let's see. Narset Transcendent. It's 2 colorless, a white and a blue. Planeswalker Narset. She starts off with 6 loyalty. And her abilities read +1, look at the top card of your library. If it's a non-creature, non-land card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. -2, When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell from your hand this turn, it gains rebound.
Just so ridiculous.
And -9, you get an emblem with, quote, your opponents can't cast non-creature
Just
spells.
so ridiculous.
Wow. Obviously,
Dang.
that's a first pick.
Obviously, that's your
No,
first
I'm going to
pick.
take Evolving Wilds. Yeah. So that pack was just kind of broken.
That's
So
crazy. That was a ridiculous pack.
that's cool. That's cool with me, man. I paid
Yeah.
something like $13 for 3 packs and ended up getting
Except for the
rewarded for
Ravnica,
it.
except for the Return to Ravnica.
I know. The one because I actually went there specifically. I was like, these guys gotta have Return to Ravnica, so I'm gonna buy some Return to Ravnica because when's the last time someone opened a Shockland on anything? So it's like it's been a while. So there's only a finite amount of those that are gonna be out after a little while because they're not gonna get reprinted for a long time. So um, yeah, ended up getting a Bloodstained Mire and a Narset Transcendent. That's pretty sweet.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No, I'm good.
All right. So, for the Wake the Dead podcast, I'm Scott, and this is Evan. You can like and subscribe the YouTube channel, MTG Mind Games, where you can find our weekly podcasts on there. They're kind of like video, blog, webcast type things. We haven't started filming any kind of direct video at ourselves yet. I'm sure in the future we might get to something like that, just so we have, utilize this platform the best we can with, you have a video, why not use it, right? So, but for now, we're just keeping it light, nice, light, casual, and thanks for listening, you guys, and make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.